All right, good morning, everyone. Got a slight deviation from our normal programming this morning. My backlights are on. This on my face so you can see my face. This morning I am going to try flipping the workout and cardio. Timings, I guess, or placement, routine. My only concern is that I've been potentially I don't want to say pre-exhausting, but using some of that potential weightlifting energy for the cardio, and especially for my leg days. I just noticed that with like leg extensions, leg curls. I mean, the sitting on the bike isn't really exhausting my muscles, but I'm gonna try it out for a couple days and see how it feels. It's been, I think, about 4 days, maybe 3 days since I've recorded anything. Just came back from camping out in the park, and that went well. No surprises. Weather was good, but chilly. But I have noticed that in my lifts I'm recording, that there's been a steady decline in strength or how much weight I can push, which really isn't surprising with, being on a cut. Going to the gym in the morning is kind of, you're already depleted from carbs, pretty much just running on caffeine and whatever else is in the pre-workout. So maybe a few calories worth of artificial sweeteners. So not shocking. I think if I ever make it to the bulking phase in however long that takes in a few months, it might be a good time to switch into, afternoon or evening workouts where I can, get some food into me throughout the day and then hit the gym afterwards. Excuse me. Anyways, today is going to be lower body. I was going to say lower legs. Lower body, so focus on probably a couple compounds. So probably going to be thinking back squats on a Smith machine today, hack squats, and then it might just be some extensions and curls after that. I'll probably do the extensions and curls. I don't know. I might do those first today. We'll see what's going on up here. But yeah, gym has one car here so far, 2 cars, the usual suspects. So there should be not a lot of equipment in use this morning, which is good news for us. What else could I touch on real quick? The school application, that's done. I'm gonna send it off hopefully today. Just gonna spend a little bit of time kind of recapping everything. Probably gonna go through it with my with Amy and see if there's anything that she spots that I might be missing, but I think for the most part I've got all my references. I've notified everyone, so there should be no surprises if anyone gets a call. And other than that, it's just hit the submit button and pay the bill. Anyways, gonna get in there. I'm already a little bit behind, so I'm gonna try and make up for some time. And I'll catch you back out in the car here. All right, so that was probably not the greatest workout for cardio and actual weightlifting. I was a little late today, so I had to kind of cut everything got cut short. Legs ended up getting quads, so I got some leg extensions, and then I did 5 sets of squats on a Smith machine, so tried to hit the rest of it with some compound movement. Didn't get calves in, which is a little upsetting. And then for the cardio, which I did afterwards, I only got 20 minutes of cardio in today. So not the most successful of lifts this morning. Anyways, on my way to work, I only have about 5 minutes to get there. Well, I have 15 minutes, but by the time you get in, get changed and all that stuff, it'll be time to get rolling. So this set's like an unusually long set of shifts for me. I ended up picking up a couple extra shifts to fill some scheduling gaps. So a bit of a jam-packed week with kids hockey and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if the video recording this week is a little bit spotty. Other than that, I have nothing else really exciting to talk about today so far. I imagine I might think of something while I'm at work today and could probably record something on the way back home or on the way to hockey. Probably will end up going straight to the hockey ring. Either way, there's some, holy Christ, there's 4 deer out there. Just chilling. Yeah, workout's done for the day. Tomorrow will be better, hopefully. I'm getting up early. My problem is I'm spending too much time prepping everything in the morning, so I'm gonna try and get some of my food prep the night before. That way I'm not spending, 40 minutes getting food together and all that stuff. What else could I talk about today? I was thinking of talking about why it is I want to stay in healthcare. So anyone who's been, I don't know if anyone, I'm sure some of you do, but anyone who's on social media and follows any kind of a healthcare worker or knows anyone who's involved in healthcare knows that the kind of running joke is that healthcare is a nightmare to work in, and pay is poor, work conditions are poor, work ratios are kind of garbage. So it's probably something maybe I'll answer after work today. Maybe my answer I might give right now might be a bit different than what I would maybe give after 12 hours, so we'll see. But that's probably something we can talk about on the way to hockey today or on the way home, depending on what time we're done. Anyways, I'm gonna get in here and see what the conditions are like for today for us. Again. So one of the big things that I've, struggled with, in healthcare and myself personally with, accomplishments or, not completing things at school, but, being proud of things I've completed or accomplished is just that, like being able to, reinforce in myself that, that the things I've done or the accomplishments I've achieved are, not unique, but they're worthy of being proud of them. And I think a lot of that boils down to having, or requiring, I guess would be the word, extrinsic, what's the word I want to say? Extrinsic versus intrinsic reinforcement. So, extrinsic is like, you need people externally to say, yeah, good job, or, either, what you're doing is working, or, you look good, or you seem like you've gotten a lot smarter since you started that course, that kind of stuff. So that would be extrinsic reinforcement or motivation. Whereas like intrinsic would be the things I'm talking about, things like you feel accomplished when you lift new weight at the gym, or you lift more reps, or you lose 10 pounds, getting a good grade on a assignment you finished. If you're into healthcare, like providing care to somebody, and they do well, or they have a good outcome, like that'd be like intrinsic. Like you just feel good for the things you do without needing a reward or external acknowledgement of it. And again, like external would be, you need somebody to go to the way to say thank you, or good job, or you look good, like that kind of stuff. And not that what the hell is this guy gonna do? Run the light? Not that I go or do things looking for those external reinforcements or acknowledgements, because that definitely not, either why I'm in the paramedicine or why I do the courses I'm doing, or that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I find I have a difficult time truly being like, oh yeah, like, you're good job on completing that course. It's important that you did that, or I just don't really, I find I have a difficult time like tooting my own horn, for lack of a better word, I guess. And that's one of the things I've, struggled with even when I go to my interviews and stuff for med school is, one of the components they want to see is that you recognize your strengths and you're able to lean on them. So for me, I kind of like know my strengths, but I have a hard time going on my way to push them in people's faces. And that kind of stems like from healthcare, from being a paramedic. Like I said, I don't say it's a thankless job, but people that get into healthcare and paramedicine don't get into it because they want, to be in the newspaper, on the calendars. Like it's just not that kind of job where, you're recognized for a lot of stuff, because a lot of the care we provide is protected by patient care, which means, we can't talk about half the things that we do or see. And then the other half is, when we do something that's really kind of extensive, or, it changes somebody's life, sometimes there's not good outcomes for the patients, and it can be difficult for people to want to talk about it. So it's not really always the best forum or the best discussion point, I guess, is emergency medicine for things like that. And I mean, like, it's obviously different depending on where you work. Like, things like where you have fire departments run their paramedic services, is a little bit different because it's obviously kind of an all-in-one thing, but for me here, it's definitely something I need to work on. And yeah, like that was something that came up today. Like we were talking about, you know, our job and things that we've done. You know, I went out of my way to do some things today to, like, not really within my scope, but, you know, delivering equipment and stuff like that for individuals who were kind of stranded. And, you know, it's things that, you know, we don't have to do, but I think as healthcare workers or people that we see people at kind of like in crappy situations, we want to go out our ways to help them. So definitely something I need to think about and probably encourage myself to reinforce in myself a little bit, you know, like remind myself that what I'm doing is important and it's cool and it has its good days and its bad days. Anyways, that's the end of the little rant for today. I'll leave it there and pick it up tomorrow morning. It's going to be push day, so chest and triceps. See you in the next video if it gets loaded.